What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. And today I have a very special guest from the well-known, if you don't know it yet, you're going to know it very well today, Barron's Toolbox. We have Axler Twinblade on the channel. So Axler, welcome to the channel. It's been a crazy day in Splinterlands, and I think we're probably going to talk about that a little bit too. But first of all, sir, how are you doing, and how's your day been?
Doing great. So, just for those that don't know, I typically have three names people reference me by. Axler Twinblade is my in-game name. Info Guides is my streaming name or YouTube channel, that type of stuff. And then a lot of people know me by the tools I make, Barron's Toolbox. So,
Barron's
uh,
Toolbox.
but as far as my day's gone, it went really well. I don't have a lot of free capital to spend, but with Rift Watcher selling, I managed to at least get 110 packs in the actual pre-sale.
Pre-sale. That's an important distinction because there are a lot of people who didn't get that. So
Yep.
I guess for context, for anybody watching this in the future, we are recording this the evening of the Rift Watchers pre-sale, in which that sold out in less than 2 minutes. And then following that, there's like 1,500 node sales to sell out of Tranche 1. So it might be fun to revisit this in like a year or two and see where everything is.
Yeah, the Tranche 1 sell kind of has me a little bit sad because my wallet couldn't reach that far, but that's okay. I'm going to hit everybody up for votes when the voting,
There
I
you
don't
go.
know what they call it, the voted for nodes come out.
I forgot what it's called as well. But yes, I mean that'll definitely be a good time to do it. And you provide a great service to the community. So I'm sure there's going to be many people who will be backing you on that.
I'll be in the digital corner with a cup begging for a vote. So.
Well, you can always come on here, and I can try to help amplify your cup begging if you'd want. So we'll try to get you as many folks as possible. So before we jump into Barron's Toolbox, I actually wanted to get your origin story, how you discovered Splinterlands, Steam, Hive, blockchain, whatever your path was. And I think it's always fascinating to hear how people came to the game. And then because you're at a point where you're creating such fantastic tools for the community in there. So clearly you have a passion for not just the game, but the community and how you can provide value. So what's the origin story? How did you get here?
Okay, so the origin story, I would say, starts with I would say this was back in middle of 2019. I started to get into crypto in general. I've always been a computer person, self-taught programmer, you name it. And so I've always been into computers, but I always avoided crypto. No particular reason, just never had a reason to look into it. So in 2019, I got into crypto, and I work for a company that we build websites for search engine optimization. So we build themes from scratch. And where I work, my boss took a note of me working with crypto, and I had thrown together like 5 video cards and made a mining rig for mining Ethereum. I got a payout I get a payout, or well, I guess the Ethereum's done too. So I got a payout about once every 35 days of like 0.1 Ethereum. Nothing huge, but I was getting a payout. My boss took notice, and so he actually invested in, I guess, my hobby, and he bought 2 mining rigs. So we got 2 full 8-card mining rigs at our office now. And so that was like 2019, 2020. And then one of my coworkers, I'll go by his nickname, Ace Dingo. He's in my guild. He's a coworker of mine. And so he came in probably January of 21. And he's talking about his brother-in-law was sitting there telling him about this crypto game, Splinterlands, and and Ace Dingo should get into it. And so he comes in, and Ace Dingo actually works in the same room as me. We kind of share an office. So
he just kept talking to you about it?
He was talking about it, and I was like, yeah, whatever. I ignored him, and he kind of ignored his brother-in-law, and so be it. So then, that was January. In February, he comes back in. Oh, I was with my brother-in-law, and he was telling me I should invest into this game, Splinterlands, and it's like, ignored it again. So there goes February. Same thing happens in March. And then in April, same thing. He keeps, his brother-in-law kept telling him, you need to look into this.
Hmm.
Well, his brother-in-law, then I think it was end of April, early May, told him that he just managed to pay off his student loans with the profits he made from this digital crypto game, Splinterlands. And so it's like, so my coworker, Ace Dingo, he was sitting there talking about that again. He's like, yeah, he's telling us, lands are available and they're almost sold out. We should join. I was like, you know what? I've heard enough. I'll call your bluff. I'll throw $500 in, and I'll get 10 plots of land if you do the same. And he's like, all right,
So
let's
lands
do it.
were $50 at the time.
They were $20 a land.
Oh, they're $20 a land. Okay.
So $20 a plot. I bought 10 plots, left myself with 300 to buy packs or whatever. I was clueless. I don't play, or had at that point never played a card game like Magic the Gathering or anything.
Interesting. Okay.
So it was more so I was just tired of hearing him talk about it constantly.
Yeah.
And so when I heard that his brother-in-law, paid off student loans with it, that's where I was like, okay. I was going kind of a little bit before that, I had invested in the wrong way of crypto. I invested in some Doge at the top, sold it low. I
Yeah.
lost $200 there. It's like, yep, I did that right. So I was sitting on, $300 already when I finally said, you know what, instead of investing in more coins, which I really don't understand yet, here's a game. At least I can play the game. He keeps talking about it. So I said, I'm willing to do it if you're willing to do it. And so both of us decided, okay, let's go ahead and do this. And I'll if I was in, I just like the even number of 10. So
Mhm.
I was going to get 10 plots because 5 didn't make sense. It wasn't an even number in my mind.
Sure.
So we're sitting there talking about it in the office. Now I work for a tech company, we build websites. And as we're talking about it, my bosses had come in to discuss a project with me. And it's like, wait, what are you guys investing in? And so we tell him about this game. He goes, oh, I'll do that. And so my boss, Blue Talon, he threw $500 in.
Mhm.
And as we're talking about it, the other developer, Bangles, he threw $500 in. And before you know it, 7 of us at our office joined Splinterlands all in the same day.
And you joined at a great time, right before the boom, it sounds like.
Yep, we joined the second to the last Untamed airdrop was just hitting. I was clueless, didn't know what an airdrop was.
Mhm.
All I knew is, you have to buy a pack in order to have a chance. Well, so I bought 1 pack. Thinking, I got a chance. No. So I bought 1 pack, and so all of us joined. This was mid-May. And after joining, all of us, we bought land. Most of us bought 10 plots because I was kind of the spearhead of that. I just wanted 10.
Sure.
And, the other people were like, well, if you're getting 10, I've got to get 10. And so my boss got 10, our developer, Bangles, he got 10. Ace Dingo, not as financially well off, so he only got 5. But his brother-in-law, who paid off student loans with this game, told him he'll give him 5 once they come out. So he'll have 10. So that's how we all kind of just jumped in, 7 of us all at once, and we all worked together.
So you're just talking about this every day, especially in the middle of last year when things took off, I'm sure.
Yeah. So we jump in, and Untamed had not sold out yet. We had like a month left, maybe a month and a half left of Untamed. Dice hadn't sold out yet, and Land hadn't sold out. So it was actually the end of May, I think, when Land was selling out. And most of us had bought our 10 plots, but Ace Dingo was like, well, I think I'm going to wait for one more paycheck to buy them. And we were all like, I don't know. They seem to be selling pretty quick. You better buy them now. So he ended up buying them that day, and the next day they sold out. So So he just got in under the radar.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so it really was just on a whim. I kept hearing about it. I was into crypto already in the sense of I was into more of the crypto mining aspect.
Sure, sure.
And so here I heard about, okay, somebody can pay off student loans with this. Well, and it's a game. Well, I can play a game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, that was when we kind of just jumped in, and most of us had never really played like trading card
Card
games,
games, yeah.
TCGs. So that was my start, and that was again mid-May we started, and in June most of us had our plots right before they
Mm-hmm.
sold out.
Cool, cool. I mean, it's fascinating to hear your kind of journey into this because you were maybe a couple months ahead of me at a good time, right? And it's funny when you say it out loud because I think we're so deep into it now. But like when your coworker's coming up to you and being like, "Oh yeah, my brother-in-law paid off his too," it sounds like a scam, doesn't it? Like, it just sounds like a straight scam.
There's a bigger part of that story I kind of left out that kind of hooked us, hook, line, and sinker.
Mm-hmm.
Ace Dingo's brother-in-law. I'll go ahead and announce his name. Don't think it's really a secret, but it's Jesterago.
Mm-hmm.
Jesterago has a region, so we'll call it a whale in the game, kind of an OG. He
Mm-hmm.
doesn't talk that much in chat or anything, but he's around. Well, when we were joining, because we were starting and we were starting under his affiliate link, he gave each of us, 7 of us, 15 packs of cards each to get started.
That's cool.
It's like, okay. Most of us opened garbage. One of our guys, by the name of Maple Leaf, he opened his pack and pulled a gold foil kitty.
Wow.
Day one.
He didn't even know what that was, did he?
No. Desterago actually sent a message through Discord to Ace Dingo saying, he just opened a gold foil kitty. And we're like, crazy. So? We had no idea.
No idea. So, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, and so just the fact that, so we looked up the price of the card, and at that time it was going for, I think, $1,000 because this was before the sellout. So this was just its base price when everything was dirt cheap. It was going for $1,000.
Nuts, man. I mean, that must have been a trip to see a card that you just pull out of a pack somebody gave to you going for $1,000 right there and then.
Yeah, we didn't believe it. We did not believe it was even possible. So.
Well, I hope he didn't sell it. That's all I'll say. Maybe at some point.
Not right away. He did sell it for $2,700.
I was gonna ask. You bought all those land plots for $20, and when they were at 800, did you offload any? That's a crazy return.
I wasn't smart enough. I was like, I'm not letting go of my land until I can use it. I hadn't really dawned on me the aspect of, well, just flip it at a high price, rebuy them because they're probably going to go low again. It's like I didn't understand that concept of the game yet.
The thing is, the hype in the back half of last year was insane, and I think everybody was waiting for like one more leg up from Bitcoin to take their profits, right? Everybody was just like, oh, 69K, yeah, we're definitely gonna hit 100K. I'm gonna sell at 80 or I'm gonna sell at 90. And we never quite got there. So your story is still, you did better than me though, because I bought my plots at 500. I bought 2 of them at 500. So it is what it is. But I'm just sitting on them now because I'm waiting to use it. So
yep.
What's interesting about your experience too is, at least in contrast to mine, is you kind of went through this with a lot of people that you know. So there's a very kind of physical or in real life development of your relationship with the game. Whereas for me, I'm not sure. Are you planning to head to Splinterfest?
I want to.
You want to?
But I don't think I'm going to be able to make it.
Fair enough. Well, for me, like, I mean, all the people that I've connected with in this game, I don't know anybody in real life. I've tried to get some of my friends in, but even the Magic the Gathering players are not like, they don't get the crypto aspect of it yet. So it'll be fun to actually meet other people in real life who play the game. But for you kind of got to do it with friends or coworkers or people that you see regularly.
Yeah. No, every day we some of us are talking about this or that in Splinterlands. Like my daily was garbage again, and
Mhm.
all that kind of stuff. So it's nice for that aspect. I want to go to Splinterfest. Uh, technically, I had permission from my wife to go to Splinterfest.
Mhm.
I was just looking at the cost and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We can afford it, but at the same time, I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to have to miss this one. Even though it would be
Fair
fun,
enough.
I would have a great time. I just thought, I think I'm going to save the money. I would rather buy, 110 Rift Watch packs.
I was gonna say, I mean, the amount of money that is spent, like for my flight and all that, I was just like, I probably could have maxed my Chaos Legion deck at this point, which is still a goal of mine. But um, yeah, I don't know. It's you got to pick and choose. So
Yep.
totally makes sense. Okay, so can you walk me through? I appreciate you going through the origin story, but can you walk me through like how Baron's Toolbox or the idea for Baron's Toolbox even came about? Like, at what point in your kind of like growth in the game where you like, oh, I think I can make something that'll be fun for the other players, and how did that come about?
Well, that's kind of like the second part of that first story. So we all joined and we're sitting there going, we're all playing. We should make a guild. Well, we didn't have enough DEC to make a guild. So we literally had to PayPal $30 cash to Justerago, who
Mm-hmm.
sent us the DEC to start a guild
Mm-hmm.
because we didn't know what we're doing. So we started our guild in I think it was June, about June 14th, June 10th,
Okay.
somewhere around there. So about a little over a month after we started, we made our guild, and we all formed a guild to start this guild journey. And so this is kind of when Baron's Toolbox really wasn't the name that came to be. When we formed our guild, all of us had purchased land,
Mm-hmm.
but we knew we were nobodies. So we chose the name. We were looking on the internet, what can we call our guild? What can we call our guild? And we came up with Land Barons because Baron is the lowest form of British nobility.
Okay.
So we thought, oh, that works. We got 10 plots, but we knew people out there like
Yeah, had a lot.
Justerago with a region. So we thought, oh, that's fitting. We don't know what we're doing. We're clueless, but we all have plots of land. So we went with Land Barons for the name of our guild. Now, once we had the guild, we started populating it with other outside players. And this is where I got irritated with Splinterlands. I couldn't sort the cards the way I wanted to. I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't I couldn't tell if our guild mates were doing anything. And so that's when I started. The first one was just being able to see my cards and sort my cards the way I wanted to see them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I started to make that first tool. Um, Again, I wasn't planning on releasing it to the public. I was toying around with the API because I'm a programmer.
Yeah.
So I was toying around with it, but then I started showing it to my coworkers, and they're all playing the game. So every one of them liked it and started to use it. And they told me, you know what, you this is really good. You should let other people use it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's when I gave it the name Baron's Toolbox, which relates to our guild.
Sure. Got it. Okay.
Because our
That
guild
makes
is
sense
called
now.
Barons. So that's where, oh, Baron, well, this is tools that we're using. So Baron's Toolbox came because we formed the guild and we didn't have any real Splinterlands was the interface wasn't that great
Mm-hmm.
for looking at your cards and especially for guilds. So that's where kind of that all came together is from that aspect. I was making the tools for myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the best businesses out there are the ones where people just go out and scratch their own itch. And I don't know if there's a business aspect to Baron's Toolbox or if it's just a labor of love. But either way, it's become something that people in the community highly value. So I think that's great.
Well, that's great to hear. I mean, lots of people do praise it, and I'm glad they like it. Honestly, it's just kind of a labor of love. I do have, at one time, I had put up a different spin wheel on my site
Mhm.
for donations. And so if you donated every, I can't remember what it was, every 100 deck you donated, I gave you a spin on my wheel, had 100 spots. and there were chances for common, rare, epic, and one gold foil Jin Shawala slot.
Mhm.
So I was doing that, and I was getting quite a bit of donations. I think overall, I probably pulled in about 200,000 deck in donations. Now I had to pay out
A
quite
ton
a
of cards.
few,
Yeah.
quite a few gold foil Jin Shawalas. So it wasn't a huge amount of profit,
Yeah.
but I had fun with it. And that's really the only, I guess you could say, profit I tried to get out of it.
Mhm.
Everything else is really just, I'm making the tools for fun, as kind of a hobby. And the more people use them and the more people like them, that actually encourages me to keep going on them because, I know other people enjoy them.
Well, just because I want to try and show some support here, is there something on the website? And I'm sorry that I hadn't looked previously, but is there something on the website or an IGN that you want to give to folks just in case they do want to send over a little token of appreciation?
Just the Axler Twinblade IGN would be the best one to send any
Axel
kind of
Twinblade.
appreciations to. I
Cool.
don't have anything on the website right now because the old donation that I had on there again was attached to the spin wheel, which I disabled. So right now there's no donation form or anything like that, or like quick links or anything
Mhm.
on the site. So
Gotcha. Well, if you guys have gotten any value out of this, then please consider sending a little something over to Axler for all the hard work that he's put into this. Speaking of spinner wheels, I mentioned this to you before we clicked record, but in the live stream this morning, I actually used the spinner wheel. And it's awesome. I love it. It's so intuitive. It's like perfect for Splinterlands. I was dealing with this like Wheel of Names website before, which is just really clunky. And I think a lot of other people do as well. So it was just nice to have something that I could log into, collect, or select the cards that I wanted to give away, and it's awesome. So I don't know if you want to take this moment to, maybe we can do a little bit of a walkthrough on the site, and you can just kind of show all the cool features that you have in there.
yeah, we can do a walkthrough on the site. And I think I'll just walk through the tools as I made them to kind of correlate them back to kind of
Yeah,
the story of why I started. And the spinner is the last one, and I'll touch base on that one as well.
cool. All right, let me go ahead and share your screen. Okay, cool.
So the first tool I made was because at the time, again, this was Untamed was just selling out. I had made this tool right here, and this one here is just a different way of looking at your cards. So let me look at my main account here. So being a programmer, I was toying around with the API, just trying to figure out what I could do. And one of the things that at the time Splinterland's interface did not have is they didn't have a lot of filters. So over here, the main filters they didn't have is if you wanted to sort by mana, your attack, your health. So all of these sorts I put in here so I could sort these cards by speed, by their armor, because I was just starting. I didn't understand what cards I needed or what would be a good play for that team. And so I wanted to sort things by ways you couldn't sort them in the game. Since
Cool.
then, they have added almost all of
Yeah.
these. So I take credit for that, even though I don't have any proof. So that was
you
so
you push their hand. So
that's it. I know that was it. So that was the main reason for starting with these filters right here, is because that's how I wanted to see the cards. The next thing, to this day, I cannot stand about Splinterlands. Love the game. It is so hard just to take and at a glance see everything I own. So that's where this bar at the top came in.
mm,
I
yep.
wanted one screen. I just want to see how many plots do I have, how many merits do I have, potions. In Splinterlands, to find out each one of these, you got to go through 3 different screens,
Yep.
and that just it bugs me. It was one of those things. So that's when I added this piece in, and okay, the next thing was it was hard. Now Peak Monsters does a great job of rentals and all that. No bust on them there. But even when it comes to seeing how much money you're making or DC you're making on your rentals, it's a small number up in the corner, almost hidden, and I didn't
Mhm.
like that. So I made mine very obvious. So right here, I got 1,298 cards. I got 5 delegated out, and there they are. And then right here, I've got, oh, rented out. Here's all the ones I rented. But more importantly is this number right here. This is what I wanted. A nice visual showing me I'm getting 975 DEC per day.
Nice.
Now, in comparison, if I rent cards, it'll show me the comparative number. It's like I'm earning this much per day.
And you're
But
spending
let's
how
say
much?
this one in red will show you how much you're spending per day.
Got it.
So right off the bat, you can see how much you're earning versus how much you're spending. And so those are the two big things that I wanted to see. Sorting
Cool.
these into buckets, I didn't like how Splinterlands would intermix all the cards when they were different splinters. They just kind of all butt up against each other. So I just wanted different ways. So here you can hide them and, or collapse them, or you can jump down to the bottom with these arrows. So that was the first big part. The next thing was I didn't have all the card art. So I actually programmed and build these cards from all their pieces. Every little piece I built.
Wow. Okay.
And so, I have a background picture. I overlay the mana. I overlay the flag. I overlay the attacks. I overlay everything, the name, the level.
And you did this for every card?
Every card.
Wow. Okay.
So all this is overlaid and drawn, and I've got this so I can draw every single card. And the next thing was, okay, again, just starting out real quick, I need, let's say, a tank heal. So that's where these filters came in. This, I wanted to see tank heals, but I needed to see a tank heal on a card that I didn't know what level it got it at. So
Gotcha.
I couldn't search for it. So here's why I do my filters based on all card levels. This gets a tank heal at level 1, level 4, level 1,
Yep.
And so this quickly was showing me, okay, here's all the cards that I own that have tank heal. Or let's say you want just self heal. So here's all the cards that get self heal. Again, it doesn't matter what level, because you might have a level 3 and it gets this heal at level 4. Well, right there, it encourages you to go buy a couple more cards and level it up.
Yep.
And so that's kind of where my filters came in. And so I just made it so I could find or the other aspect was, I then later added this tab right here, a card finder. And the reason I added this is because I went through a phase where it's like, oh, I really like stun. I got to own them all. So I go over here. This is all the cards that Splinterlands has produced. So by clicking on that tab and hitting stun, this shows me every single card that gets stunned. And those are the ones I started to buy up, is because, oh, I like stun. Oh, Hill Giant. I just started going through buying cards based on attributes I like. Oh, or a poison team. I want a strong poison team. So now it helps me go through and pick out, based on ability, what kind of teams or builds I want to do. It quickly lets me see if I need to go purchase cards.
Gotcha.
So that was the first tool I made. Is I just wanted different ways of sorting, and Splinterlands didn't offer it. So the next phase was the next tool, and that was, let me go back to the front. The next one was guilds. And so in the guild lookup, we had started a guild, but there was no way for me to manage my guild. Splinterlands guild interface is lacking.
I mean, I actually really like this tool for guilds. It's just being able to see everything and all the people. It's been really helpful for us.
Yep, and I think I think there's a lot more people using this than anything else. So in here, so here's when we joined the guild. We formed it June 14th. I was close. So June.
I think you did say the 14th. So.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, okay. You said the 10th or the 14th. So I was it was very specific, but you were right on the money.
But here you can see right across the top, 14th, 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 14th. So this is me. This is the worker that works in my room. This is our other developer. This was our project manager. Sideways 6 was the roommate of Ace Bingo. Let's see. This is one of our content writers. This is my boss. He was in the guild, quit playing, and then came back in
Came
the
back.
guild. So let's see. And then what else we got?
Came back in September when things were getting exciting, huh?
Yep, exactly. He had quit, and then he's like, well, things are starting to get, heated up for Chaos Legion. So he came back. This is my boss's son. This is a content writer of ours. This is a content writer of ours. And so that's all of the workers. So the majority of our guild, we all work in one building.
Yeah, and you all know each other personally, which is cool.
Yep. And so that's what really makes this fun and exciting. So the basic reason for this tool was a quick way to see at a glance what players were contributing to the guild, what players weren't. And so I really like these stats right here at the top the most. And that is because, okay, overall, I've donated 189,000 DEC to the guild across all buildings. I don't care which building you're donating to. I just want to see that you're donating.
Donating, yeah.
And then this number right here is one I really like. It's like I have an average of 1,556 over 65 weeks. So every week for 65 weeks, I've donated that amount.
Wow. Okay.
So this is good for guilds that want to say, hey, we'll let you in the guild, but you have to maintain let's say an average of 100 deck a week or 500 deck a week. And so this is a tool or a stat that I was generating just for that purpose, because we were getting a lot of guild members that would come in and then they would quit playing and I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Well, Splinterlands does not keep track of if somebody logged in. So the only way I could tell if somebody was active is if they were doing ranked reward battles. And so that's where this stat was coming in right here. Now, this developer of ours, he has rented his whole deck out. So that's why he's not playing right now, is he rented his whole deck out. And so if it's no data returned, well, the API works off of, it returns the last 50 battles or the last 30 days.
Okay, I was just going to ask, how far back does that look? Okay.
It only goes 30 days. And if they've only achieved 10 fights, 10 ranked battle fights in the last 30 days, it will only return 10. This was a huge disappointment because I had to go talk to the developers in Splinterlands asking, where's the fight data? I thought it was posted to the blockchain. And that's when I got them to admit to me that it was too much to commit back to the blockchain. That was part of what was crashing the game so bad.
Interesting. Okay. So what have they done with that since? Is it still not being written to the blockchain?
It's not being written to the blockchain. It is being written to, I believe, servers of their own.
Okay.
So they have the data, but there's no way for us, us out on the street to access it.
Got it.
Because there's just so many fights. As you know, there's like 10 million a day or whatever. So there's just so much. It was killing the blockchain. So they couldn't keep pushing all that back to the Hive blockchain. They retain the data and they give us up to 30 days
worth of it. Got it. Okay.
And so so that's what I'm going off of here. So here you can see, if I got the full return of data, I can calculate some stats. There was 50 fights in the last 30 days. So I can calculate some stats. But then you'll see some players like Bengals, he's been renting his deck out for probably a month and a half. So I have no fight data came back.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then I just picked some arbitrary numbers for my guild as if I wanted to color these boxes green or red. Green says, I think you're an overachiever. And red says, I think you're underachieving. And
okay. That's why they're highlighted. Okay.
And this is just purely off of me guessing what might good numbers be. So here I was looking at this number here, and I try to show it in these tooltips. Green is shown when above 30,000. Red is shown when below 2,000. I don't know what a good number is, that's what I just chose.
For everything?
No, just each one of these has a different red and green.
Oh, it has a different threshold. Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. And so, like this one here, green is shown when above,
Oh, about 1,000.
yeah, above 1,000. So that's where you can see us that started. We're all above 1,000 per week.
Yep.
And so, and then if you don't see any colors, that means, they're in the middle. They're an average player. So these numbers, again, are just numbers I picked for our guild, but they seem to hold up for a lot of people's guilds, is what I'm finding. So I think it did a decent job. So that's where this tool came about. Lots of little things here that people might not notice is the icons here of the players. That is your icon in the game. I actually redraw that based on what you selected in the game.
Wow. But you only have to do that once, right? To get the icon in, and then if it's pulling in that same one?
No, because the picture, the background, if you're in the bronze league, the background is bronze. If you're in the silver league, it's silver. Okay. Then you got gold and diamond. So your icon changes based on what league you're in.
Wow. Okay.
So, and then of course up here you've got the date. This corner here, if you want to see all the cards that this player has, it'll open a new tab and goes straight to that player and all their cards.
Cool.
So this is what I was doing to see if scouting new guild recruits, trying to find out, okay, what cards do they own? What cards are they renting? How much deck do they have? Are they telling the truth or are they lying? Does it look like one account delegated them a full deck, meaning this is an alt account? So it was my way to spy on potential guild inductees.
I like the visual interface of this. There's something about seeing the cards and all their glory, which I don't know, just helps to get a good feel for the collection.
I agree. Peak monsters and all that. Again, I'm not trying to compete with them. They're great at what they do. They're about the money and all this. But I look at it as I'm trying to play the game. I want that visual.
Yeah.
And that's why I went ahead and made animated cards one day, is because Nate was dropping all these animations, and I just had to put them to use. So I had to go in there and make it filter for just all the animated cards.
It's been a source of frustration, I know, for the team too, because I think somebody had asked Nate in one of the town halls where they're just like, how come like Baron's Toolbox, like a tool like Baron's Toolbox has all the animated cards, but we don't have that in game? And all Nate could say was like, well, obviously you're doing a lot of work by bringing it in, but for him, I think it was coordinating it with the dev team, and then the amount of, I think it was like the amount of data that it would take for what they're trying to do would be a lot, at least in terms of where the game is at from a browser base right now. So that wasn't like a top priority for them, but it's cool to come here and see all the animations coming together.
No, and when I first showed it to Nate, and because when I first did it, I showed it to Nate and Nate, Hardpoint, Chatter, and I think I sent it to Aggro too. Just one, I wanted to make sure they were okay with me using the animations, and Nate just absolutely, he loved it. So now I tried to get him to give me some alpha leaks on some extra animations, and I never got those.
He's a tight lip, that one. I can't get anything out of him either.
So that's what the little card icon, it jumps over there, so you can quickly pop these open and check out a full set of their cards. What a lot of people miss, which I did a poor job of showing off, is there's another tab up here, all guilds. So there's 1,737 guilds in the game, and they're all right here. So very quickly you can see the level of all their buildings. And then you can come in here, Goblin Town, they're ranked 39. You click on them, and now you can see all their guild members.
That's cool.
And so that's just something I see a lot of people don't realize. I do have the full list here. So one thing I forgot to do is I wanted to bring all the guild buildings, the drawings you see here. They're supposed to be on this page too, but I forgot. and I haven't got back to it yet. So that would be some things I would like to do on this screen that I just have I haven't had time. I get
Understand.
onto a next project and haven't got back to it. Is I want to add some filters to this page so you can filter guildmates by the date they joined. You can filter by how much their average donation per week is. So all it would do is it would sort the cards, ascending or descending based on these numbers. Um, just a little convenience factor.
Quality of life, right?
Yeah, quality of life thing. So that's stuff that I still plan to do. I just haven't got back to it.
Cool, cool.
And so those are the first two tools that I was making because we had started a guild and I was trying to figure out my cards. And so then I threw my hat in the ring for streaming and was actually surprised that I made the team, made the cut as soon as I did. So then when I'm streaming, okay, I'm a website guy and I wanted my stuff to look better. I'm already drawing cards from scratch. That's how I was able to achieve the animations. I put a background back there that's black. I put the animation in. I dropped the frame on top. And so I'm already building these. So the frame was just leave the picture out. That's all I got to do. And so that's where this came from, is so allowing people to make streamer frames here. Yeah, you do need to kind of look at the code a little bit to understand it, but I try to make it easy enough so you can come on here and say you want to, earth, and you update the frame. There you go. You got an earth frame. Copy this and browser source it into OBS Studio, and you're done.
That's cool.
You want to change all the stats. Again, I give examples.
This is what they're using on the official town halls?
Yes.
That's
yes,
so cool.
It is.
Wow. Oh, man, they need to shout that out. I'm going to shout that out for you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, so this has spread like wildfire to the point where it all of a sudden is now showing up in the town halls. And so
that's so cool.
So in here, if you want to change, because I draw everything, you can come in here and change, all your stats here and update this frame, and you can see your stats change. If you want, I don't want tank heal, I just want heal. You can update that, and now it's a healing card.
Wow.
And you just copy this, and you put it in your stream, put your camera behind it, crop your camera, and there you go.
Yeah.
If you want gold foil, let's see, where's that? Example.
Gold frame. G equals true. Yeah.
Yep. So you just sit there and add this to the end. There you go. You got gold frame.
That's cool.
If you want, let's see, this is legendary, but you're a fan of the epic purple. There you go. You got an epic. So I was asked to make a nice little interface so you could just go through and do select box and just click on things and build it. For speed, I was like, yeah, that'd be nice, and then I moved on.
Well, I mean, this is functional enough as it is, and people who really want it can figure it out.
Yeah, and so then this was like 2 days ago. I don't know. I released an update to this, so now you can come in here where it says type, and you can change this to gladiators. And now you got gladiator
fun.
Now, the reason I don't have all the frames is because I'm cutting these frames out by hand, and I'm not a graphic artist. So it takes me forever. And I tried, once again, I approached Nate about getting all these card frames, and he answered me, why the hell would you want that? I showed him why. He go, oh, that's cool. And I never got any of those. But I know the team's busy. So it's pulling resources away from the team for them to stop and get me artwork. So I can't.
It'd be cool if they could make some of these assets available for things like this, though, even just like up on the website. But I agree. I don't know what I can do, but I'll see if I can chat with Nate, pull some strings. No promises.
Yeah, because if I could get the frames to alpha, beta, I can draw them really easy. It's just
Hmm.
it takes a lot of time and
To cut out the
work
other,
for me
yeah,
to crop this center section out
yeah.
without all the overlays.
Hmm.
And yeah, it just takes time. But yeah, so that's when this one started. Is I started streaming and I wanted that to look better, and so that led into my next one here. I was streaming, and across the top of my stream, because I had my card frame in the corner, there's a lot of dead space on the screen.
Hmm.
And the dead space is something that when I make a website, that's bad. And so, we don't want just blank space.
Hmm.
So that's when I came up with this one here. And this here just shows these different boxes here. So you can turn these on and off. You just come up here, stats, off. Let's see, potions, off, land on, gladiator on, coins on, season. No, we don't need the season on. So we can turn season off. And what this does is, what do you want to show about you to your streamers?
On the stream, yeah.
And so, same thing. You can decide if you only want to show just your coins, you can do that. And so that's where this one's at. It helps me add some eye candy to dead space on my stream.
Got it. That's really cool. I like that.
And then the last tool is the spinner. So first, let me pull up Wheel of Names. I was using Wheel of Names, and it irritated me. Wheel of Names did great in a lot of aspects, but I was getting irritated because it kept popping up ads that I didn't want,
Hmm.
on my stream. And then on top of that, the other thing is I would load it before my stream, but it's on a different tab. And on stream, you can even go back and watch some of my Splinterlands TV streams. I would jump back to the spin wheel and I would have a black screen
Yeah.
and it would just sit there for like 30 seconds.
It's
I'm
so
like,
clunky. Yeah.
what's going on? Because I build websites. I know this is like wrong. And so I needed something better that wouldn't just hang and be a dead screen.
Hmm.
And so I started to try to come up with ideas. Now these spinners are nice, but they have a limitation. And that limitation I found out with my donation spinner. It was a circle, but after you get about 100 segments, everything gets so small, you start getting people arguing this, well, no, that should have been a win. That pointer was right on the line. It should have been the gold foil, not the
Yeah.
it's like, really? And so there are a couple of reasons I didn't like this type of spinner. And so that's when I came up with Aggroed in streams, kept saying stuff like, hey, we're going to do casino style games.
Hmm.
Come into the caravan and I will show you the best place ever. You must come to
This
land.
So this came up live while I was on stream, and I paused because I was just like, "What's going on here? I recognize this voice. I recognize this."
Yep, I when she said that in one of the town halls,
Yeah.
it was dead silent background. I was like, perfect, clip that sound clip. So I clipped it, and I figure you're entering in the spinner, so why not?
Yep.
Let's see. So then this is kind of the spinner where it came up because I already had some of these tools built. Obviously, I'm going to leverage these. I don't think people really need these filters, but it's harder for me to turn off the filter than just to leave it there. So it's like, okay, leave.
I mean,
the
it's
filter
helpful.
there.
So yeah.
And so this came about because I didn't like the other ones. Is really how it came about. Originally, when you logged in, I loaded all the cards directly into the spin wheel, just straight up everything in your account.
Okay.
Because again, I usually start off, gotta admit, I made it for myself, and I have my holding account, which is info guides.
Hmm.
Don't play that account. It's just it's a holding account that I give stuff away from. So when I want a spin wheel, I just thought, you know what? Open it up, log in, have it load everything into the wheel. I'm good to go.
Hmm.
A couple of people liked it and were started to use it that way. But Rondon was actually having to help people get extra like holding accounts so they could use it.
Okay.
And so Rondon was actually really good about giving me some nice feedback and critique on the early versions of this, is how to make it better for a lot of people.
Yep.
And so it went through a couple of versions. And so this is where we've ended up. Rondon said I needed a management screen versus a spin screen. Before, I just had it so all this was there,
Yeah,
and
just
then
fold
down
in.
at the bottom was the spinner. And so I split it up now, so you have the two different kind of screens, which I do think looks a lot better. So I appreciate that. And then because Rondon also said, instead of loading the whole account, we need it just to be more of a whitelist. Like you pick the cards you want from your own hand.
Yeah.
Well, because of my other tools, I already know I cannot draw somebody's card set if they have more than 2,000 cards. The browser crashes. And that's why I had to revert to stacking the cards, is because there's only 540 cards right now, I think, total.
What does the little bomb icon on the top right do? Top right of each card.
Okay, so I have a stack of 4 of these.
Mm-hmm.
There they are.
Okay.
So if they were different levels, the one at the top of the stack should be the highest level.
Got it.
So
Okay.
it would be like level 5, 4, 3, 2, it would count down. So they'd be the level of the cards. So this is your card's unique ID. And this is how the spinner works. When you add this card, you added that exact ID to your spinner. So it will not give this one away. It will only give this one. And this is to make sure I'm not just saying, oh, give them a level 1. Well, what if it's a level 1 with 3 extra BCX on it?
Yeah.
Now it gets to be too hard for math. So now you just go through it, and it's a whitelist, but I have to stack them because I can't load every version of every card, especially when you have 175.
Yeah, that would get a little crazy.
And so so that's where this whole methodology came from. Is Rondon was off, he had mentioned going with a whitelist model versus just loading a whole deck or every card in that account.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is, let's say we are using your primary account.
Hey, you want to come in? Come into my caravan and I will show you the best place ever. You must come to the Splinterland. Come now.
So here's my main account. Now, on my main account, I use SplexGG, and I share my main account with its rental service. So it's kind of a pain in the tail, because when Agrod was giving me stuff to hand out on stream, SplexGG rented that crap out quick.
Yeah. It's happened to me before.
So it's like, oh, shoot. He gave me like 5 Hero of the Beyond cards to give out. And I went to give one away, and I couldn't find it because it was already listed for rent.
That's so
So I
funny.
had to mad dash and turn it off. So if you're using your primary account, it will still show you every card, but it removes all cards that are locked, all cards that are rented, listed for rent, listed for sale, delegated to you. And of course, it removes all gladiator cards because you can't give those away.
Can't get those, yeah.
So anything you see here are only cards that it could send. That doesn't mean you want to send them. So you don't want to come into your main account and send away, a level 6 gold foil. You don't really want to send these cards out. But it's up to you to make that choice.
Yeah.
If
Well,
you're
you have to opt them in rather than opt them out.
Right. And obviously, when you do that, you always have the option to come in here. It's like, oh, wait a second. I don't want that one in that list. And it will take it out of the list. So you can take those out of the list. And so it gives you that chance. And then also with that, you also then have, when you come over here, you can shuffle. That's just a visual way so you can see it.
Mhm.
And when it spins, I could almost automate this to the point where it would automatically just send the card. I don't like that idea. I like it more of you, the human. You're getting ready to send this. It's up to you to send that out of your account.
The thing is, I love this feature specifically because the fact that I don't have to jump back and forth between tabs. Oh, this was one of my favorite things today because we did a bunch of giveaways and it was just like, oh, okay, let me just get the IGN, throw it in there, IGN, throw it in, and hit send.
Yep. And so then we've got these are the recent ads. Recent ad was I added Rift Watchers. So any packs that you have, you can now add cards or packs to your giveaway. Now, this doesn't know how many you have. By clicking on it, I am adding
All of
pack
them?
giveaways.
Oh, okay.
So one per click. Okay,
got
so
it. Okay.
one pack per click, and it's going to add it to here. Now, with DEC and SPS, if you click just on this box area, you will get DEC at 100 or one SPS token. What some people might not realize is if you click in here, you can say, I want 234.
Adjust it. Wow. Okay.
And if you hit enter, it will add it to the list. Or if you click it, it will add it to the list. So now you actually have a giveaway of exactly how much
you want to give away.
SPS or DEC you want to give away. And it also will include vouchers. I just used all my vouchers up, so that's why they're not in the list. But I allow you to put all packs, DEC, SPS, and vouchers in the spin wheel. So all of that is now, and it's integrated because these things behave the same way when you spin. If you land on one, it will send that pack.
Mm-hmm. Do you have chaos there? Is it just that you don't have any chaos packs available that it's not popping up?
I don't have any chaos packs on this account.
Got it. Okay.
I'm bad with packs. If they're in my account, they're open.
You're not the only one, my friend. You're not the only one.
I got a Gladius pack today. Oh, I opened it. Actually, now that I just said that, the Gladius packs might show up here. I don't know if I trap those or not. So,
well, you can't send those out either, can you?
No. But my code would try.
Would try, yeah.
It would give it the good college effort,
Yeah.
So that's where this tool came from. There's definitely a lot more that I need to do to it. Still in the works. And the biggest one is need a way to save the list because you've got all this stuff added and you're still going to give it away your next stream, but if you refresh your screen, it's all gone.
Gotcha. Yeah, you have to start from scratch then.
You got to start over. So I am working on that, and I'll go to my dev site. So here's a little bit of alpha.
Ooh, always excited about alpha.
It's a little bit slower.
It's there it goes.
Okay. So, sorry for the repeated sound effect.
It's all good.
You must come to this.
Sure, Crofty doesn't mind.
So here you can see I have a save and load icon up here at the top. So I was working on that when Rift Watcher packs were given to me, and I needed to get that included and pushed live before people needed it. So,
were you the streamer that was giving out the first Rift Watcher packs?
I wasn't the first one, but
I just remember there was a big uproar from people about it.
Yeah, I honestly thought it was kind of silly that people would get that upset about it. I do agree. It would have been nice if they would have made a official post about it, just saying, "Hey, just so everyone knows, we purchased X amount of packs. Give them to the streamers to give away."
Yeah, it's just like I get it. I feel like it was just a quick question somebody asked on the team, and they're like, "Oh, this is a cool idea. Let's do this for the community." And then they throw it out there, and then there's this big backlash. And I was like, no good deed goes unpunished, right? It was like harmless and innocent in terms of its intent, but yeah, I agree. Could have been better thought out, and I think they agreed to that too. So
yeah, so I was given 10 packs when the uproar was going on, I already had my 10 packs, and I was working on the code update to Baron's Toolbox, but I had to disable my save routines because they don't work yet. So I disabled those, but they're in the works. They're just not over here on the main site yet. And
Gotcha.
so I got to get some free time to work on that. The other thing, some other alpha that I'm working on is we're working with Nightbot, and Nightbot, honestly, when I'm doing giveaways, yes, I've got some excessively big prizes out there right now. And I draw kind of a big crowd and the chat just goes crazy. Um I was trying to do the drawings using the Nightbot keyword, because then people only had to type in the keyword once and they didn't have to keep flooding chat with the keyword. But then through the grapevine, I had to change that because there's problems with doing it by keyword. So I changed to doing it by active users. But now everybody's just flooding chat with, good game, good game, good game, or something like that, which is great.
Yeah.
However, it makes it really hard for me to spot actual conversation pieces in the chat, especially when I was streaming the last 2 times with over 210 people.
It gets tough to keep up.
It was literally impossible. I almost needed to hire somebody to just watch the chat for me type of thing. So because of that, I'm working on a piece. Again, this is for myself, but I'm going to release it to everybody. So here's a little bit more alpha. So let's see. I'm basically looking at replacing Nightbot for myself. Oh, I didn't type in everything I need here. I need to go. What is this? Okay. So here, if we got multiple people using my spinner, I'm making an interface where people can come in, type in their Twitch name and their IGN, submit it, and now I'll be able to pull that directly into my spinner. And spinner will now be enabled to pick the person's name along with the prize.
Oh, that's cool.
So now it's just one button. I hit spin, somebody's going to win, and it will show the prize at the same time.
And then all you got to do is click send and confirm send.
Yeah, and then you just send it. Because now I have their IGN. I can also come back over to the spin box, and I can actually pre-populate. I guess I need something over there.
That's going to come in really handy.
So now I'll be able to pre-populate this log entry with their name. I still will not click the send button. But I could have their IGN just right here.
Automatically
it'd already be typed in.
Yeah.
Now
the one thing that obviously is talked about a lot, or at least used as a cautionary tale, is a lot of the unfortunate multi-accounting that happens. So is there something that accounts for that? Is that why you asked for the Twitch name as well?
That's why I'm asking for the Twitch name as well. Definitely, I don't have anything planned per se. I know it happens, but I think just simply by forcing people to leave Twitch, come to a different screen to enter their name, and it takes a lot more time.
Yeah.
And I'm aware that's going to hinder some people. They're on their cell phones. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I think that will help, just in and of itself, it'll help fight the multi-accounting, because if somebody's got multiple accounts, now they're going to have to jump back and forth to get all those accounts entered.
Gotcha. Okay.
So my hope is that helps a little bit. I know that's not it's not a perfect fix, but
the thing is, you come up with the tool, and then they find a way to circumvent it, right? So it's I don't want to say it's a losing battle, but it's not. There's no quick fix for anything. I mean, I think there's awesome net benefits from having a tool like this where you get everything done in one go.
Yeah, and And aggro.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think we lost you there.
Are you there?
Yep, there you are. Sorry, I lost you for a
Okay.
second. You said
All right.
Agro was gonna say something or do something.
Aggro he really loves the spin tool. Absolutely loves it. And I think that, well, uh, spoiler alert. You may not want this part in the final video.
Oh, should we save it for after the video then?
We can, or if you want to clip it out, I don't know, your choice.
I hate editing, so I don't know. Is this
We'll do it after.
We'll do it after? Okay. Oh
Because
man, what a teaser.
These are things that Aggro has told me that I don't want to just make them public. It's for him to decide if he wants to make them
Okay,
public.
fair enough. We'll keep that out then.
So okay, so we'll follow up and just kind of have a little private chat afterwards. But
sorry, everybody.
But he has voiced multiple times to me directly. He really likes the spin tool.
Mm-hmm.
What he really likes about it, I think the most, is, let me switch to the giveaway account of mine.
Hey, you want to come in?
Hey, you.
Come to the caravan and I will show you the best place ever. You must come to the Splinterland. Come now.
So I won a kitty. I opened a Untamed pack on stream with Aggro there, and I pulled a kitty.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
And it was just unreal. Only time I've never played this card because I don't rent cards, and so I pull a kitty. So for the first time, I actually have the card, and super excited. Chat was going ballistic, and everyone, of course, is saying, "Oh, raffle it off," jokingly. They were joking. And so they're talking about raffling it off, and I don't know. I'll raffle off almost anything, but not the kitty. I just got one. Not going to happen. And so Agrod was in the stream, and he says, "I tell you what," and I can't remember what he said, but the end result was he basically asked me, "Okay, how does your spinner work? If, let's say, I wanted to give you a level 10 card, what's the chances of winning that level 10 card? Is it just like 1 in 4?" I go, no. It's like however many cards I add to the wheel. Like usually I have 200 cards in the wheel. So it's like 1 in 200 to get it. And within 2 minutes, he sent a kitty to my Info Guides account to give away.
Wow.
But he likes it because it's not a guaranteed, you win it right now, today, it's yours.
It stays there.
It stays there, and now it's here every single time. There's always that chance that somebody could land on a bomb and just absolutely pull a kitty.
Yeah. It's just there taunting everybody to come back next week or whenever.
Exactly. And so I think that's why he likes the spinner so much, is because it encourages Aggro to give us more stuff for the streamers to give away.
Yeah.
Knowing that people don't have to win it. And it's there, so he's getting more marketing materials for the Splinterlands money, per se. Because that's hanging out. I've had that now for 4 or 5 streams. He gave me Prince Rainin.
Nice.
And then before that, he had given me 5 Lure Deep Swimmers. Now, this is the last one left. But on that first stream, I gave away 3 of them just straight up like most people would do. You know, oh, I got 5 to give out. Draw a name, you get a Lure Deep Swimmer. Draw a name.
Yeah.
But it was the end of my stream. And so the 2 extra ones I had, I just threw over here in my holding account. And that's when Agrod was talking to me about, how does this work? And so that's what encouraged Agrod to go ahead and sponsor me with some unique cards, because they're here and they will be in my win wheel or my spinner every time I'm doing a stream. They're in the mix. There's just no guarantee you get them.
Now, what do you do to offer people a chance to spin the wheel?
That's where Nightbot's been coming in and frustrating me.
That's why you're building the other tool. Okay, got it.
And so Nightbot, it's good for some things, but it makes chat explode in the interface. and that just makes it really distracting to me. So I wanted something that will allow my spin tool to do both.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Makes
already
sense.
picking a card. Let me pick a name.
Yeah.
And so so that's where I started the framework for allowing people to jump over to a contest. Now, again, this is my name, but let's say you were doing it. I don't know your IGN, but we'll just say,
It's just after sound, but
after sound. So you would just come over here and I would generate a link for you. And now anybody that signs up, even if we were doing the wheels at the same time, your list of
would be
names is
separate.
not my list of names.
Got it. Makes sense.
And so that way multiple people could be using it. Since I was going to make it, I figured might as well make it for the wider
Community.
streamer audience. So and again, this is right now I have it. It does work. It does add people's names to my database. I just haven't been able to go to the next part of basically making sure you can't add your name multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also have to give you, the streamer, the ability to clear that list and see that list. So
Yeah.
work in progress.
I mean, all of it is so cool, man. And the fact that, like I said, it's being used at the official level and all over. I've seen it all over the Splinterlands TV streams. So it's just cool, man. I really like it.
No, I mean, for me, it's been great seeing everybody use it,
Mhm.
and I kind of had an inkling that it might show up on the town halls because Rondon had approached me and basically kind of asked permission if, he didn't say for town hall, but he kind of asked permission. Did I mind if they used it some places? And I
Yeah.
was like,
Okay.
no. It's like, please go ahead. So I kind of knew something was coming, but it was still a nice surprise when I saw everybody on
Everybody
the
had it. Yeah.
town hall have one. So that was nice.
That's cool. Cool. I'll whenever I see it, I'm going to make sure that I try to shout you out in the chat so people know where it's coming from.
Awesome. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, I appreciate you walking us through this. I want to be respectful of your time, and I probably got to run here in a little bit as well. I had a couple of follow-up questions for you, and
Sure.
I figured it'd be good to get your take on things. So one thing that I noticed with the tool is, and really also your journey into Splinterlands, is how guild focused it is. So I'm wondering, have you given a lot of thought to the upcoming like brawl rewards and being able to monetize guilds, or is that not really like, is it all just kind of fun and you like playing the game with people that you know?
I've definitely given thought for, it would be great once we can start earning SPS in the guild brawls and all
Mhm.
that. As far as the money aspect goes, I'm trying to lead that to the people that do it better, peak monsters and all that. Now, in my tool, yes, I do want to add some sort of display to show you a little bit of that information, but it's definitely not going to be the focal point of how to get the best ROA or rate of return for your guild brawls.
Sure.
I just I haven't dabbled much with the doing all the numbers and the stats like other people have gone way overboard with.
Yeah.
So I figure let them have that space. We can coexist. I focus more on, hey, how could this help you play the game, or how could this help you manage your guild?
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Well, I mean, I wasn't even talking about like in terms of like competing with other services or being in the same space. I'm interested in how SPS Brawl Rewards is going to change the dynamic of some guilds,
Oh,
if it will, like at least in our guild, for example, like we've been starting to have the conversations around like, okay, well, now that you can earn, there's 30 people and 16 spots, like who gets them and how does this work? And so it's not there yet, but I feel like as once it's that whole thing, like once money gets involved, people get weird, right? So like I wonder how guilds will navigate that, and maybe more specifically I was asking about your guild, since you guys all know each other especially.
so the way we do it is quite literally off of the Baron's Toolbox guild tool.
You want me to share the screen?
And sure.
Oh, I saw you pull something up, so I can if you
Yep.
want.
Yeah, go ahead. So the way we do our guild, this isn't my guild, but the way we do it is quite simple. is we say our guild brawls are first come, first serve.
Okay.
If
Same with us.
if
Oh.
somebody has donated more to the guild than you have, and they didn't get a spot, they can come up and say, "Hey, I want a spot," and I'll kick you out of your fray, and I'll give it to that person.
Fair enough.
That's how we do it. We do it based off of,
Seniority. Yeah.
well, not even seniority.
That's yeah.
You
It's
could
just
be a new person if you donated 500,000 to the guild hall. Oh, all right. Guess what?
you get
I'll
first
kick
pick.
this guy out. You know.
Yeah.
So we do it off of total donations to the guild gets the priority. And so if there's a case where somebody who has a lot more donations than you do, well, we just let people know, be aware, we will boot you, as guild leaders, we'll boot you
Mhm.
out of your fray if we have to.
Yeah.
Now, knock on wood, we haven't really had to do that often. When we were still in tier 1, we had to do it quite a few times. But honestly, we don't have a mandate of how much you have to donate to our guild per week. It's completely voluntary.
Yeah.
So
you just look to
that's,
see who's active.
yep, and so that's why we opt for the method of first come, first serve. And if somebody donated more than you, yep, they get your spot.
Yeah.
So
Fair enough. Okay. Cool.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Again. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm really looking forward to the SBS in the guild rewards, because they're going to force people to spread the guilds out over all 5 tiers. I've been arguing that forever and a day since
Yeah.
even starting my little guild tool. I thought it was kind of wrong that all these max level guilds, every building max level, is in a tier 1 brawl. It's like, this makes no sense.
Yeah.
Um,
I really hope they reshape it accordingly and make it so that even if you're at the bottom of like tier 3, it should be better than the top of tier 2 type of thing.
yeah. So what I was looking at and trying to get them to do is like, I don't see why it's a choice. If you upgraded your the arena, force you into that tier, why do you get to pick?
Mhm. Yeah, that's a good point.
You upgraded the building. If you don't want to be in tier 3, don't do that upgrade.
Don't upgrade. That's kind of a good way to put it. It's because it's not like you can downgrade your battles if you don't feel like playing in silver that day, right? Like I guess you could get rid of the power, but it's like, I don't know, you have to I like the idea of like, if you go up, then go up and like own it and then start playing in that level and work your way up. So
Yep. Yeah,
how
so
that goes.
I was asking for that. That's not going to happen, but they do have their own idea coming up. So I'm hopeful for that meta change. I want to see the guild spread out amongst all 5 tiers. That's the biggest thing I'm hoping for with the upcoming meta changes with that.
Yeah, I'm excited for what guilds can offer in the near and long-term future. I think that there's a lot that they can really do with that. So now that they've gotten a lot of the big things out of the way with the rank rewards update and Modern and Wild and Rift Fortress, hopefully they'll be able to focus on that before Rebellion comes out.
Yep.
All right. So any closing thoughts here on going back to the crazy day we've had now with Rift Watchers presale selling out, Chaos Legion. How are you feeling about where Splinterlands is from when you started, maybe, not quite a year and a half ago, maybe like 16 months ago or so, to where it is now? How has that evolution been for you, and what are you looking forward to with the game and with the platform?
So in comparison, I'm still 100% bullish on the game. But my coworkers, not so much. So again, we have a whole group of us that started all at the same time. And some of them, they're getting a little bit disgruntled about the fact that land keeps getting pushed away.
When that
And
was the reason that you bought in, I totally understand.
that was the reason we all started.
Yeah.
So I can't fault them for that. However, I look at it as, you know what? Part of my story that I didn't mention is my $500 in. I bought the 10 plots of land, $300 of untamed stuff, smattering of everything. I didn't know what I was doing. When everything spiked and everything got sold out and everything was just going ballistic, I didn't sell my plots, but I did sell off all my good untamed. and I
Nice.
made
Okay.
a $4,000 profit.
Wow. So what is that? An 8 and like more than an 8x, right? It's like a 10x
Yeah,
or 11x.
yeah. So I did make profit, and I still have 10 plots of land, and I still have a lot of untamed level 1,
Mhm.
not the strongest card, but I
Now,
still have them.
did you take any of that profit and then buy back into Chaos Legion at some point, or buy back
Yes,
into the game? You
yes.
did. Okay.
So I took that profit. I bought 2 video cards for my crypto miner. And then that was $1,500, and then I took $900 and I bought into Gala Games Mirandus. I bought
Cool. Okay.
exemplars over there, so if you're aware of it or not.
Just on the peripheral. I'm
Yep.
following Gala Games through other people like yourself. It's like when I talk to the people, they're just like, oh yeah, there's this thing. I'm just like, oh yeah, I should check out Gala.
Yep. It's too expensive because it's on the Ethereum
Ethereum
blockchain.
chain, yeah.
But I bought one of their characters for $800, and I'm waiting for that game. My thought there was I was hedging my bets with Splinterlands. I was looking at it as if Splinterlands dies, by the time that Splinterlands might be phasing out,
Mm-hmm.
that game will be picking up. So that was my thought there, and that left me with about $2,000 left, and that all went back into Chaos Legion. So that was my buy-in now with Chaos Legion, was what was left from that sell and
Okay.
that profit making. So I did have good luck with that, and so I still feel very strong and bullish for Splinterlands in general with everything they have coming out. I'm not a sports fan, so Genesis League Sports, I don't
Doesn't
have
interest you, yeah.
interest in it. But if I'm going to get free tokens, I'm not even looking at selling them. I do see if that takes off, those tokens could,
Yeah.
cash
I mean,
out later
you're
for a
getting
lot
them for
more.
free, right? So might as well see where it goes.
Yep. So I'm excited for that, just for a different crowd of people. See what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And then with tower defense, I'm excited for tower defense, but I made the decision earlier today that I was going to put all my without bringing more fiat into the game. I took all my liquid that I had to buy the
Riftwatch
110
packs.
packs that I could.
Yeah.
So I decided I was going to have to, tower defense is probably 6 months away.
That's my feeling on it too. Like I'm excited about tower defense because I like the genre of game, and for me, there probably will be a play to earn element of like, oh yeah, the ROI of like playing this or buying this card. I'll probably get sucked into that. But I'm just excited to like when it's actually out, I'm gonna go grab a couple of towers that look cool and then just start playing the game and play as a player, right? And not really worry about the rewards. I think it'll be fun. I think the way that they're designing it with the whole like deal or no deal element is going to be really
Yeah.
cool to stream as well. So it's just going to be a fun thing to do either by yourself, right? Either by myself because I enjoy the game, or to do it with others to be like, ooh, we made it to the next round. Like, will you guys bet on me going to the next round or something like that, right? Let's put a wager up or whatever. I think it can make the streaming or like Splinterlands TV a lot of fun.
Sounds like another Baron's tool to me.
Sounds like another Baron's tool. See, I see you got something cool coming up.
So-
well, actually, go ahead.
No, so yeah, I'm kind of looking at tower defense the same way. I want to play it, but I don't feel the urge that I have to get in on the pre-sale. Whereas with Rift Watchers, I wanted the promo card, and I could jump as high as getting 2 of them guaranteed. So okay, I went that route.
Fair enough. I mean, I came to this game as an investor and then stayed for the stayed for the game, stayed for the community. So like when I think about it, I'm just like, okay, the amount of like capital I would need to tie up for a game that may not launch for 6 months, I would rather put that in something like Rift Watchers because I can either play with the cards, so I get some value out, like enjoyment out of it. I can rent them out, or I can flip them, or something. You know what I mean? Like, Rift Watchers should hopefully be here by the end of the month. Knock on wood that they don't, there's no delays. Whereas Tower Defense is a little bit further out. But I'm excited for it. I'm excited for both, but I'm excited for Tower Defense when it does actually release.
Yep, same with me. And when it comes to the Rooney, I think that's a great marketing plan. I really do.
Do you have any Ethereum NFTs?
Nope. My coworker Ace Dingo, he sunk about $1,000 into them, and hate to say it, every one of them flunked. And so his $1,000 is probably worth about 300 right now. So
That's rough.
While I see a lot of people make great profit off of those and love those things. I mean, Ace Dingo loves them. He
Mhm.
just, right now he's licking his wounds, and so he can't invest because the ones he chose didn't do so
They're
well.
all down. Yeah.
So because I've seen that, like literally sitting next to me
Yeah.
over the span of 6 months, I was like, you know what, Roonies are cool, but I'm out.
Yeah. Not for you.
Not
Fair enough.
not for me. I'll just buy one after somebody minted it, and just
Yeah.
if I can get a good price, maybe. But
Hmm.
I don't think one card as an asset is worth that to me.
Fair enough. The team has been very I feel like explicit on this, right? Like it's marketing aimed not at current players. It's marketing aimed at ETH whales, right? So
Yes,
they want the people who can spend, 5 Ethereum, 10 Ethereum on a JPEG that doesn't do anything, right? Because they have that kind of money. Because it's just like if they
right.
have that kind of money and there's a potential crossover where they're like, yeah, I like trading card games too. This looks kind of cool. Oh, wait, it's only like $3,000 for a gold level deck. Yeah, let's do it, right? Like, oh, this is just my weekend money. Right?
Right.
That's who they're going after, because that type of capital coming into the game could obviously shake things up quite a bit. But I appreciate the fact that they're offering it to current players at a potential discount. So
Yes,
should be good
I
either
do
way.
too. I do appreciate that they're allowing for current players to be able to grab a whitelist spot. So
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that's good.
So, but yeah, it's not like it's not going to be anything that I think is going to be overpowered or something that you need, right? It's definitely going to scratch the itch of people who want to flex their NFTs. And if you're in Splinterlands for the NFTs, you're not in it because you want a profile pic. That's a completely different crowd. So hopefully we'll be able to bring some of them into the whole TCG arena.
I agree. So yeah, I think all the items we've heard about the team is producing, I think that, and then you throw in they are still working on land. I can only see a bullish market for Splinterlands, even if the
Mhm.
rest of the markets are still crashing. I can see Splinterlands fighting against the tide and having slow growth during a bear market
Yeah,
and just exploding in the next bull market. So, um,
agreed.
so I'm staying all in.
I'm with you, man. I mean, there's, I don't think it's going to be a straight up or even just only up kind of approach, but I think if they continue to deliver and they continue to reach new audiences, you know, it it doesn't nothing crazy is going to happen until the next bull run, which I maintain, at least conservatively, is not going to happen until the next Bitcoin halving, so 2024 into 2025. So like right now, you kind of have 3 years to just play the game, accumulate assets, be part of the community, and yeah, when we get to the next bull run, if things get stupid like they did last year, where coins were just doing 100x's, it could be an interesting time to have been in Splinterlands for the past 3 years, accumulating assets, and then
Oh,
see
definitely. I
see what
agree.
happens. So and at the end of the day, this is the most fun in a bear market that I've ever had. Right? There's just cool things happening, and I get to play with the cards. I can't play with my Bitcoin. I can't play with my Ethereum.
I agree.
So. Well, Axel, I really appreciate you taking the time, man. This was a lot of fun, and we got to show off a great tool that you have. Once again, if you guys are getting some value out of this, please consider supporting Axler. You can just send them DEC SPS cards over to the Axler Twinblade. They can catch you live on SPL Splinterlands TV. What day?
Let's see. Wednesday from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern, and Saturday from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern.
Awesome. Any other things you want to share with the community, ways that they can connect with you, any other thing you got coming up? We already did kind of the alpha leaks for Baron's Toolbox, but anything else that you wanted to share?
Um, Nothing really that I wanted to share that we didn't already talk about, other than the fact that uh, I really enjoy the game. I think I would like to see more people talk about the game for the game. So many people talk about the game for the money.
Yep.
I think a lot of people miss the aspect of, hey, let's just play the game.
Yeah.
And so I would like to see more people just think of it as a game, not
Mhm.
as, okay, how can I turn a quick, what's the ROI on that card? I don't care. I like the artwork on that card. I'm going to buy 50 of them.
Yeah. Fair
So,
enough. Well, I'm definitely guilty of that. But you know, TCGs, even though I played them before, I'll be honest with you. Like, I like Splinterlands, the game itself, but would I be spending so much time in it if there wasn't like upside potential and the financial? I don't know. But that's why I'm so bullish on tower defense, because I don't really care what the earnings are going to be, right? Like, even if they didn't like put anything in there, I feel like it'd be fun to play tower defense with it. So I agree with you though. There's a really fun game. It's kind of the reason why I love talking with, if you were seen on the channel Darkest Night. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
he's a,
I
yeah,
like catching your streams with him.
he's a, you know, as I call him, a player's player, because like he doesn't care about any of the finances. I think I've had an influence on him. He's had an influence on me. so now he's thinking more about, he's just like, oh yeah, I guess I could make a lot of money if I like paid more attention. But for him, he just loves the game. He loves the artwork. He loves the lore. So he just dives into it. So hopefully we give a good balance whenever he's on.
Yeah, I definitely look forward to your streams with him. I've caught a few of them, your pre-recorded ones. I don't know if you guys do that live or not, but no, I really like the dynamic between the both of you.
I appreciate that. I was just giving it as an example for, you know, I think it'd be great if the discourse was more like you said, where people are just like, this is a freaking awesome game, right? Oh,
Yeah.
and yeah, sure, we can earn some money, but this is an awesome game. And I got to say, from the creative aspect of it, you know, now that I get a sneak peek at a lot of what the creative team does, they put so much effort into this. And it's like, man, you know, for a company to be investing as much into their intellectual property as Splinterlands is, it's just really impressive and really exciting to me, right? Because they put out lore stories every week, and it's, you know, I don't even know if the YouTube channel's monetized, so it's not like these are things that are bringing in tons of revenue, but it's important to the founders of the team. It's important to Nate, the creative director, to like really build out and flesh out the story. And I just, to me, I'm like, oh, this stuff's going to pay dividends in years, right? Like right now it's plushies, and you may or may not like plushies, but just wait until all of Aggie's dreams about comic books and Netflix series and all this stuff actually comes to pass, right? Like I'm not saying that it's guaranteed, but they're working towards it, and you never know what, you know, the next bull run might bring in terms of the actual capital to finance some of those projects.
Yeah, no, the plushies weren't for me, but I'm super excited about the miniatures.
Mhm.
I That's the stuff that excites me more than a plushie. Is you know, I've always from my youth been a D&D fan, so when I see those miniatures, I'm like, oh yeah, I need a set of those.
See, they got a little something for everybody, man.
Yep.
All right. Well, this was awesome. Thank you again, Axler. Hopefully we can do a round 2 at some point if you're open to it, or whenever you
Oh,
have,
definitely. Yeah.
whenever you have like a new feature or something launching, you know, feel free to reach out to me, and I'd be happy to have you on to chat about it.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's been great chatting after, son.
All right, guys. Have an amazing rest of your day. We'll catch up with you soon.